Hello, and welcome to Conquering Insomnia Session 3. Today we are going to discuss the relaxation response. I'm just going to do a brief introduction to it, and next week I'm actually going to walk you through the techniques of the relaxation response. And then I'm also going to go over some stimulus control techniques. Now, the relaxation response is an inborn quieting response that quiets the mind and body and counteracts the stress response. It is something that is not automatic. The stress response is automatic, but the relaxation response actually takes us taking the time to relax our body as well as our mind. The benefits are of the relaxation response is a reduced secretion of stress hormones, reductions in your heart and breathing rate, as well as your blood pressure. It's also relaxation of muscles throughout your entire body. Now, the four key elements of the relaxation response is to have a quiet place where your eyes are closed and you're able to minimize distractions. You also want to be in a comfortable position so that you can completely relax your muscles. And some people like to use a mental focusing device such as breathing, or they may focus on a word such as calm, or they may use an image, whether it's a picture of a beach or a forest. They use this to shift their mind away from distracting thoughts. And the purpose of this is to allow your body and mind to completely relax. It's not emptying your mind, but it's just allowing you to disregard everyday thoughts that may come in that may keep you awake in the evening. So a lot of times when we're having difficulty sleeping, we find it's a result of us worrying about different things that occurred during the day or thinking about things that are going to happen the next day. So when you're using the relaxation response, you're finding a quiet place where you can just sit down and close your eyes and focus on your breath. You focus on a word or an image, and you relax every single muscle group in your body. In doing this, your mind may start to wander, and before you know it, you're thinking about those bills or the kids or what's for dinner tomorrow night, and that's okay. You just gently remind yourself to stay present in the moment, focusing on relaxation. So next week, what I'll do is actually walk you, or next session, I'll actually walk you through the relaxation response. But for now, let's get into our next technique, the stimulus control technique. So as we all know, our environment often influences our behavior. For example, when we go into the movie theater and we smell the popcorn, it's very hard to not associate the movies with having popcorn. Or lunchtime, automatically, sometimes even if we're not hungry, when 12 o'clock rolls around, we know that's the cue to go have lunch. Or if we're in the kitchen, automatically when we walk into the kitchen, we know it's a cue to grab something to eat. Well, many times people who are suffering from insomnia use the bed as a cue to stay awake. The bed and the bedroom can be a cue for sleeping, or it could be a cue for sleeplessness. Insomniacs often use their bedrooms to watch television, talk on the phone, review work-related materials, study, or solve problems with their spouse. Or they may even try to go to bed when their spouse goes to bed. What we have to remember is you can't force sleep. Many times my clients will say, I try so hard to just fall asleep. Well, that's the first thing we should not do. Do not try to go to sleep. It's impossible. You can't try to go to sleep. It actually backfires and creates more physical and mental arousal. That increased arousal results in faster brain waves, increased heart rate, increased breathing, greater muscle tension. All of that is going on, making it impossible for us to fall asleep. So no more trying to go to sleep. There was a study where individuals in the study were told that they would receive a cash prize if based on who fell asleep the fastest. The other group was just told to fall asleep naturally. They just said, okay, we want you guys to fall asleep naturally. The other group, they said, okay, whoever falls asleep the fastest is going to win a prize, win money. The individuals who were in the cash prize group took 3 times as long to fall asleep. Why? Because they were trying to fall asleep because they wanted to win the money. Just the stressor of trying to fall asleep actually forces your body to stay awake. So what we must do is unlearn the connection between bed and insomnia. So like we said in session 2, we want our bedroom to be a trigger for going to sleep. So just like you walk into the movie theater and it's just a trigger to have that popcorn with that movie, we want the bed and the bedroom to be the same way, where it's not a trigger to stay awake, but a trigger to fall asleep. So in order for us to do this, we have to make a few changes. And the first step in making the bedroom more of a place for sleepfulness is to use the bedroom for sleep, sex, and relaxation only. So RR stands for relaxation response only. We don't want to use the bedroom to watch television, to work, to study, or talk on the telephone. But, if reading or watching television in the bedroom helps you fall asleep, well, then you want to limit it to no more than 20 to 30 minutes. Otherwise, you'll begin to associate, or you'll continue to associate, the bedroom with wakefulness. And next, you want to go to bed only when you feel drowsy. You don't want to go to bed because, say, the news is on, and that's a cue that, hey, it's time to go to bed. Or the news just went off, so that's a cue to go to bed. Or my spouse is going to bed, so now I'm going to go to bed. Or a certain time on the clock, it's 11 o'clock, it's time for me to go to bed. You don't want to go to bed based on external cues. Also, you don't want to go to bed just because you're fatigued. You only want to go to bed when you feel drowsy. And some people will say, well, I don't know what it means to feel drowsy. Well, you notice that your eyes keep closing, or your head is nodding, or you're yawning, or you're reading the same line in a book several times and not understanding it. And then step 3, don't lie in the bed tossing and turning. That actually makes our insomnia worse. If you don't fall asleep within 20 or 30 minutes, or if you awaken during the night and you're unable to fall asleep within 20 or 30 minutes, do not remain in bed. Get up, go to another room, or if you're unable to go to another room, sit up in bed and engage in a quiet, relaxing activity until you are drowsy for 20 to 30 minutes. So don't allow yourself to fall asleep in another room. When you do this, you actually create a cue for that room, or for that couch, or for that chair. It now becomes a cue for sleeping and not your bed or your bedroom. So the minute you are feeling drowsy, you get out of the chair or the couch or that particular room, and you go back into your bedroom, into your bed. So you want to use what we call the half-hour rule. For every 20, 30 minutes you do 20 or 30 minutes of a relaxing activity followed by a sleep attempt. After 30 minutes of being unable to fall asleep, you get up and you try a relaxing activity again. But do not lie in the bed tossing and turning. So the goal of the stimulus control technique is to learn to associate the bed with drowsiness and sleep. It's not meant to promote clock watching. So if you're looking at the clock and you're looking at, oh, okay, it's been 30 minutes, I need to get up, that's actually going to contribute to your insomnia as well. What I usually recommend to my patients is to cover the clock. And those who do this, for example, my class that we just had recently, the whole class, the entire class, that they tried it for a week, and all of them found a marked improvement in their sleep. They were able to get better sleep because they were not staring at the clock. The clock itself will stress you out. When you wake up and you see that it's 2 a.m. or it's 3 a.m., or especially if the clock is 5 a.m. and you know you have to get up at 6, just the stressor of trying to go back to sleep, forcing yourself to sleep, contributes to insomnia. So if you want to get good quality sleep, cover the clock. If you're concerned that you're going to oversleep, set an alarm. If you know you need to get up at 6 a.m., set an alarm, but cover that clock. Do not look at it. It actually contributes to our insomnia when we are looking at it. So the goal of this session is to, like in session 1, continue to record our daily positive thoughts and change our negative thoughts about sleep. In session 2, we learned about tracking our sleep efficiency and practicing sleep scheduling techniques. And the goal of session 3 is to practice relaxation responses. I will go next week into more detail as far as how to do an actual relaxation response. But for now, practicing relaxing your body, finding a quiet, comfortable room. You can choose a picture or a word to help you relax and have passive disregard for everyday thoughts. But what we're really going to focus on this week is the stimulus control technique. We are going to use the bedroom for sleep, sex, and relaxation only. We are only going to go to bed when we feel drowsy, so not when the news goes off or when our spouse goes to bed or because a certain time is on the clock. We are only going to go to bed when we feel drowsy. And then we're going to use the 20, 30-minute rule. We're not going to lie in bed tossing and turning. After 20 or 30 minutes, and if we're still awake, we're going to get up, go to another room, practice a relaxing activity, and then come back to our bedroom for another sleep attempt. So our next session is session 4, which will be managing our insomnia by learning how to manage our stress, because the stress that we experience during the day greatly affects our sleep at night. When we are on edge during the day, we will be on edge at night. So we're going to learn how to manage our insomnia by managing our stress. And we're also going to learn some daytime as well as bedtime relaxation techniques. So thank you again for participating in today's online course, and I hope you enjoyed this session. There are 6 sessions total. This is session number 3, and I hope you are able to attend all of the sessions. If you would like a list of our future online courses emailed to you, you may contact Vanessa Schmidt at 909-335-4131. Thank you and have a wonderful day.